Welcome back. On today's episode of Vegan Muscle Meal Prep, we are going to be making Sloppy Joe's smarter and fitter younger sister, Messy Jessie. Here we go.
So I'm still kind of struggling in the kitchen sometimes, but I am getting better. Got my gloves on, and my chopping skills are still a work in progress, but they too are improving. So I chopped the scallion, the garlic, the sweet peppers, and then I was trying to figure out how best to go about chopping the onion. So I kind of had to chop it a couple of times even after I chopped it once. And then I finished with my tomato.
I chopped up most of, I guess, my base ingredients that I need to make Messy Jessie. And I'm going to dump this in a saucepan. Gosh, that just sounds so appetizing, doesn't it? And add a little bit of water, some spices and such, and just kind of let the flavors... Okay, that's a timer for something else that I'm doing. Let the flavors just kind of like infuse the water before we get to Messy Jessie. And so what am I going to make Messy Jessie with other than this? You'll see in a second. All right, I couldn't wait. I mean, I'm going to totally spoil the surprise, but the star of our show today is lentils, specifically black bean lentils. Well, they just say black lentils. Why these ones? Because these ones are about to expire and I don't want them to go to waste. It doesn't really matter which lentils you use. Lentils, star of the show. And a handy dandy co-star, Trader Joe's chunky salsa, just to give it a little bit more flavor. And because I have this, I don't need to add as much in terms of salt and pepper. I'll add a little bit, figure out the taste, but this is gonna be a huge help to give it a boost of flavor. Now, let's get to the next step. As you can see, we have a cast of supporting actors for our flavor palette. Some of them making a reemergence or reappearance. They have regular reoccurring roles. We also have some supporting stars that are making their first breakout debut on our episode. But let's start with the regulars. We have Himalayan sea salt, cumin, Basil. You don't get to see Basil too much. Basil used to be an extra. Garlic powder. Also, someone who used to be an extra and is now coming to the forefront. We have peppercorn. Cayenne powder. West African hot pepper. Sweet paprika. Also used to be an extra, bay leaf. Another extra coming to the forefront, cloves. Our last extra, who's stepping it up, thyme. And for our supporting cast making their debut, grapeseed oil. And so pleased about her date syrup. She's a little shy, but she's gonna be in the show. All right, we're gonna get all this into our pot.
So now we just add all our seasonings. As you can see, there is no measuring spoon at this point because I'm just kind of listening to the ancestors and tasting as I go along.
It already looks so pretty, doesn't it?
This is just a little extra something I did that I'll talk about in a bonus video. I have to say that I laughed at myself through this muscles but can't open the jar, but I figured it out.
Our Trader Joe's chunky salsa in there, and as you can see, the sauce has made a nice kind of veggie stock, and it's at a simmer, and that's where I want to keep it. I'm going to mix everything together, give it another, I want to say 5 minutes, and then add the star of the show. Are going in. We're going to add another one of these. All right, we're going to mix that up. Let it simmer covered for, I don't know how many minutes. I'll just keep an eye on it, and then we'll come back for the finish.
That surprise is back. I'll talk about it more again in a bonus video. Wait for it.
And she's done. Messy Jessie. I'll come in for a close-up, but first of all, isn't this the cutest little thing you've ever seen? Is it a cute little lid? I mean, perfect for presentation. So, and there she is, Messy Jessie. She kind of looks a little like Sloppy Joe. You could tell they're related, but you definitely can see that she's like, forget the all-important taste test. Now, as it was cooking, I was tasting, which is, you know, what a proper cook should be doing. And it seemed like it was getting along just fine. What to say? It's very delicious. There's a little bit of sweet from definitely, I think, the date syrup, but also probably the peppers and a couple other things. And then at the end, you get that kick, that heat, that punch that I love. And the sweet is probably to balance the heat so that you're not hit with heat first and just heat, even though some people like that. So you could definitely leave out the date syrup if you want. But I am happy with my product. That's it for our episode of Vegan Muscle Meal Prep. I'm your host, M&M, with my trusty sidekick, Apple, handy dandy iPhone, and I'm happy to have presented you with Messy Jessie, the fitter, smarter sister to Sloppy Joe. So what happens on our next episode? It's always a mystery to me, even though I have tons of ideas for what I'd like to try. But we can always count on the fact that it will be muscle fueling, mostly from scratch, and of course, vegan.